In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Whatever you are, be a good one. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts. The best way to predict the future is to create it. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. The better part of one's life consists of his friendships. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice. Character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. I walk slowly, but I never walk backward. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Whatever you are, be a good one. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. I would rather be a little nobody than to be an evil somebody. Nearly all men can stand adversity. But if you want to test a man's character, give him power. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me. And I didn't have the heart to let him down. No man is good enough to govern another man without that other's consent. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can. And I mean to keep on doing so until the end. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. The best way to get a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. The only way to predict the future is to create it. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. I am not bound by any particular religious creed, but, without ever having uttered a word, I can tell the religion of a person who tramples on the rights of the Negro. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new after all. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubts. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. The people will save their government, if the government will save the people. Character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. I destroy my enemies when I make them my friends. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. You cannot build character and courage by taking away a man's initiative and independence. You have to do your own growing. No matter how tall your grandfather was, no man is good enough to govern another man without that other's consent. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. I can make more generals, but horses cost money. I do not think I could myself be brought to support a man for office whom I knew to be an open enemy of, and scoff at, religion. If you once forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. I am not concerned that you have fallen. I am concerned that you rise. These are the 5 signs of true love. They are patience, They are kind. They are understanding. They are genuine. They are loyal.